Yo. What we thought was about to be a good game last night ended up being a horrible game between the Nets and the 76ers.
Big disappointment.
I mean, we still got to break down what happened and talk about that game because at the end of the day, it's one game. There's plenty more to see between those two teams at the rate that everything is going. And we'll be talking about the standings a little bit, so, it works out for us, E. What else, E? What else we got on the agenda today?
Oh, we got baseball back on the map.
Word, baseball was finally able to reach an agreement. We'll be talking about that real quick because there's so much news to talk about there. Football news, there was a few things that went down literally after we turned the podcast off. With Seattle deciding to release their Pro Bowl player. We had a trade with Carson Wentz going to the Washington Commanders.
It wasn't even a trade. Well, that was a trade. The other one wasn't a trade.
Oh, you mean the bag of chips trade for Khalil Mack between the Chargers and the Bears, which, we're going to talk about all three because that has some pretty strong implications on the NFL landscape.
Agreed.
And we're going to wrap up with a lot of NBA talk because, sure, that game happened yesterday, but there's still too much madness going around the league.
Of course. Close to the playoffs.
Playoffs? Nah, anyways. This is the Radical Souls podcast people have never seen. I'm Daniel.
I'm Ethan. And Chris still in spirit. He'll be with us shortly.
Just waiting. Like I said, green light. Whenever he gets to that green light, Chris gonna be back in here. And there's so much we gotta talk to Chris about because there's just so much going on. Ethan, any news on the Radical Social?
Well, we can keep it going. Both videos have 1,000 views, and we're just gonna keep it going.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Let's get right into it.
So let's start with baseball because yes, a deal was reached with baseball. Baseball is back, but there ain't really much else that's happened since, even though free agency opened last night.
Yeah, been quiet.
Opening day is April 7th. So we're excited to see that. Your Mets will be opening against the Nationals. And who are the Yankees opening against?
The lovely Red Sox.
Baseball couldn't have asked for anything better, bro. The Red Sox and Yankees and the Nationals and Mets, like two strong division rivals playing against each other with two teams that are favorited between the Yankees and Mets.
You got Boston going to New York. That's going to be a crazy opening day.
Bro, you don't even know. But, yeah, until we hear some free agent news, there ain't really much else to talk about there. We'll be waiting to see what happens. So, where do you want to start with the football landscape?
Let's start with Carson Wentz. That was the first trade before later on.
Word. So, Carson Wentz got traded to the Commanders from the Colts. They sent two third-round picks. It was a 2022 and a 2023. The 2023 third-round pick can become a second-round pick if Carson Wentz plays 70% of the snaps, correct? Yeah.
Yep. And if I was the Washington, I would have been like, yo, sit this one. We already up.
Yeah, they're going to try to play it smart with him. And the Commanders got a pick back, too. So it's like
they just swapped second-round picks.
Yeah. Oh, I said third round. My bad. I'm thinking of something else.
You're good.
Yeah, second-round picks. And, they gave him a pick back because the Commanders are taking Carson Wentz's full contract.
But for an unhealthy player, it's kind of much.
What's your full take on it? Give me your full landscape on that whole trade.
For Washington, it's good because that's all they needed. You have the running back, you have the wide receivers, you have the defense talent. It's just you needed someone in command, which is funny.
Nah, yeah, I fully agree with you. And, me and you talked about it that day a little bit. And like I said, this is really more about somebody being a stopgap until you can figure out what to do. Because it's Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson. Well, granted, when Deshaun Watson doesn't have any off-field problems. Is he Aaron Rodgers? Is he Tom Brady? No, he's not. But, you made some noise with Tyler Heineke. Carson Wentz is a little bit better. Ron Rivera coached Cam Newton, who has kind of the similar blocks on their game, I guess you could say, because Carson Wentz ain't the most accurate thrower. He doesn't do well when it comes to his completion percentage, and he can run with the ball. So maybe, this is a downgrade of Cam Newton, of course, but, when you got similar skill sets, you can do a lot more with that player.
Compared to Tyler Heineke, like you said, because he was good, but he wasn't like, wow, we have to keep him, and he has to start.
Yeah, and you look at the quarterbacks this year in this draft, and it's very get lucky if you can this year. It ain't like past years where you're like, yeah, this guy has talent, but can he take it to the next level? Does this guy has all the talent in the world? He just needs to X, Y. This is like he could throw the ball and he could run. I don't know what you're going to do with that information, but good luck.
Scouts are confused as hell. Like, do we draft this guy? Do we just take someone else?
Yeah, so, Carson Wentz I'm not upset about. The one trade that got me upset was the Khalil Mack trade to the Chargers, where they sent, what was it?
A 2nd-round pick and a 6th-round pick. We're not pausing. This is it. That's all it is.
For Khalil Mack. Who's going to be playing with Joey Bosa now.
Arguably the best defensive player in the league right now.
When healthy.
Yep. And now you have him on opposite side, like you said, Joey Bosa.
Yo, that AFC West is going to be insane, bro.
I'm terrified. No, I don't want to see them. I don't want to see Joe Burrow get hurt by one of them.
And you know what makes matters worse? The Seahawks decide, let's not trade an all-pro linebacker. The best linebacker right now in Bobby Wagner. And listening to the teams that he's been linked to should really scare you, Ethan. I've heard the Ravens. I've heard the Chiefs. I've heard anybody in the NFC West. So, the 49ers, the Rams.
If 49ers get him, I will not watch.
Could you imagine if the Rams get him?
That's just a kill team. That's an all-star team.
Could you imagine if the Chiefs get him? I mean, yeah, they might lose Honey Badger, but
it's worth it. You have him and Chris Jones is definitely worth it.
I mean, the Jets are up there. I was happy to see that, but we don't really matter to you guys. Maybe, who knows? I mean, we did beat you this year with a sucky team, but whatever.
We don't talk about Mike White. We had the Super Bowl. That's all that's important, dude.
What's a Super Bowl? I don't know what that is. Yeah, so we just gotta wait and see what happens with Bobby Wagner. The Seahawks are showing that they're a full rebuild mode.
Get rid of DK, get rid of Tyler Lockett, get rid of everybody at this point.
Listen, if DK Metcalf is on the market and I see a trade that we could easily pull as the Jets, I'm going to be very upset.
I would say at least a couple picks. I mean, Khalil Mack went for 2 picks.
Bro, we have 2 second-rounders. We have a third. We have 2 firsts, which I'm not giving up a first-round pick. But who's to say we can't trade the number 10, let's say? Or even the number 4. We trade back. We get more picks. Or, we could trade back, get even more picks. Let's say, if we get, the 15 or something. If we got to give up the 15 for DK Metcalf or trade that 15 for even more picks, find a way. Just get DK Metcalf here, bro. We need a number 1 receiver that's really big, pause, and will be aggressive for Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson needs that. Corey Davis, he shows flashes of a number 1, but he's not a every week number 1.
Definitely not.
Elijah Moore, can he be that one day? Yes, he's still developing, and he's kind of small, so we kind of need a big target. But yeah, bro, Seattle's a mess. Which
please fire yourself.
You know me, I'm happy about that because Mr. Jamal Adams was out here. I don't want to be on a rebuild no more. Goes to play a playoff game, and now he's on a rebuild.
Yep. Yeah, I love it.
Speaking of rebuilds, we thought that the Brooklyn Nets were going to have to be on a rebuild after giving up James Harden for Ben Simmons, and God knowing what was going to happen to this team the next 2-3 years. And Kevin Durant, who signed an extension, was like, yo, y'all forgot who I am? Kyrie Irving played and said, yo, I might play half games, but do you forget who I am? I might not be here next year, but that's another conversation for another time. Ben Simmons on the bench, cheesing hard as hell. I could do a perfect impression, too. He was like,
we just like him.
exactly. Ethan, what's your takeaway from that game, bro? Like,
I'm going to say two things. First thing, Embiid had 13 free throws in the first quarter, and that was the only way he was scoring. And James Harden was one from 10?
1 for 12 at one point.
1 for 12.
I'm not sure if that was the second quarter, the first quarter, but I know at one point he was like 1 for 12 before hitting, I think it was like a 3 or whatever that he passed Reggie Miller with. And then he was like 2 for 13 at that point. And
Kyrie, like you said, he said, I am Kyrie Irving. I will drop 20 on your head in the first quarter like it's nothing and get this 15-point lead early.
Bro, it was a 30-point game for like the end of the third through the fourth. I was like, why am I even playing this in the background still? Like, I wasn't paying attention after it was like 20-something for a cool hot minute.
And the thing is, like, we know it was like a boring game because we thought it would be more close. But they came into Philly and dominated them the whole game. Like, that's embarrassing.
Bro, I mean, the thing is, James Harden, like, people complain he doesn't show up for big games. He got blocked a lot. He was turning the ball over a lot. So, granted, Joel Embiid and James Harden don't have good games. But that's to show Philly that they don't have a number 3. Tyrese Maxey, as good as Tyrese Maxey has been this year, is a second-year player. He needs to still continue to develop. And
Tobias Harris is only as good as
Tobias Harris, I don't know what happened to him. Ever since, like, the trade rumors for Ben Simmons started and, like, it really got hot, like, a month before the trade deadline, he just started to decline right then and there.
100%.
They need Tobias Harris, like, bad.
They really need him last night.
So, I still like Philly. Because Philly was giving the Nets some problems on the free throw line, and that's how Philly's going to kill people. It's going to be on the free throw line. And if you get your contributions from everybody else, it's over.
Agreed. But like you said, to think when they played the Raptors and Kawhi hit that game winner, it wasn't just because of Ben Simmons. Still that same team without Simmons, and Harden and Embiid has to show up when it counts.
You look at even last year when they choked it away against the Hawks. Granted, Embiid was hurt, but was Atlanta? I mean, they did beat the Nets, but, you know, whatever. Were they really that good? I mean, you remember I told you if the Knicks had certain players, because we didn't have everybody, like, we would have given them a problem, and Philly should have been able to give them a problem.
Didn't show up. That's the problem.
So I don't know if that's a Doc Rivers thing, because you know the narrative on Doc Rivers in big games too, with his no adjusting ass.
It's kind of true. Now realizing it.
I mean, it's a long season still. Well, not a long season because, you know, 18 games ain't that much, but that's still enough games to get it going. And we might see these teams play each other in the first round, which let me pull up these standings because Lord, there were a lot of things going on in the standings right now.
Standings, games today, everything.
You got Miami in first, Milwaukee in second, Philly in third. If Philly would have won last night, they stay in second. You got Chicago fourth, a half game behind. You got Boston in fifth, 1 game behind. The Cavs are 3 games behind. No, 2 games behind, my bad. 2 games behind Philly. The Raptors are in 7th. The Nets are in 8th. If the Raptors and Nets were to play today, Kyrie Irving can't play whether they're home or away. It won't matter.
Yep.
And then you got the Charlotte Hornets and Hawks who are outside. The Wizards who are a game and a half behind the Hawks. And the Knicks who are 3.5 games behind the Hawks. Do you want to talk Knicks or do you want to look at the scores right now of the games today and then we talk Knicks?
Well, let's talk about the games today because the games today, I'm just hooked.
So you got Clippers Hawks. You got Pistons Celtics, who the Pistons have been like a really weird team lately.
They've been on fire.
Yeah, like granted, it's not to say that the Pistons suck. It's just the Pistons are still a very young team. They need that guy to close out games, which Kate Cunningham should be in the next few years. But as of right now, he's still learning. He's not going to be that guy. The Celtics are red hot, so that's going to be wild. They're 14.5 favorites right now. That's a game that I would think about betting because I think the Pistons are not going to get smoked by 15. But who knows? Because Tatum might go off for like 70 tonight.
He got grit on him. That's the thing. I feel like he's going to shut him down. Not as crazy as he's been, like 40 a game, because he's still at home at Boston. But no, Grant defensively is like giving problems.
Facts. You got the Cavs and Heat, which you heard me say before. The Cavs only like 2 games out of third place, and the Heat is still in first. But okay, I hate ads. Mavericks Rockets. The Rockets have been a weird team that could play very well, and the Mavericks just got the brakes beaten off of them by the Knicks, so they got to come redeem themselves.
30-game L.
Yo, do you know that Luka has not beaten the Knicks at home yet since he's joined the Mavericks?
That I don't know.
That's the only team he hasn't beaten at home.
That's actually a crazy stat. I wish I knew that yesterday or a day before.
Never beaten them in Dallas.
I never knew that.
That is the only team Luka has not beaten at home yet, bro.
That's actually crazy. Like, now you actually saying it out loud, I'm actually surprised.
I'm not, because F. Porzingis. The Knicks Grizzlies, which is going to be a wild game, which is why I'm wearing my RJ Barrett jersey. You see the John Morant shirt behind me. We're going to talk about something that has to do with both of these things, but, we'll get there. Hornets, Pelicans. The Pelicans are fighting for their play-in lives right now.
But they're going to lose tonight.
And the Hornets are also fighting for their play-in lives right now, too.
No CJ, no BI. All you have left is Devontae Graham and Val. They're about to get smoked.
You got the Jazz and Spurs, which, again, that could be another weird game tonight. You got the Raptors and Suns.
Another weird game. D-Book is back. Van Vliet is back, but it's a tough choice between the two.
Yeah, because the Raptors are that team. Same thing as the Pistons, even though they're better than the Pistons, granted, because Van Vliet and Siakam are better, but it's still the same situation of it's a young team. They're still kind of learning to play together, and Fred Van Vliet and Siakam just got the torch pretty much passed off to them since Lowry left, so they're learning how to lead now by themselves because Siakam wasn't really a leader since Kawhi was there. He's a great player, but he ain't the leader.
Yeah.
And then you got the Wizards and Lakers. The Wizards who are fighting for their play-in lives, and the Lakers who are also fighting to, not get clowned every other week.
Literally.
Well, look at the standings real quick again. So I can show you the Western Conference real quick. Same madness over there. You got Phoenix who already clinched the playoff. That's insane. The Grizzlies and Warriors are tied, so that Grizzlies game means a lot. Utah, who's only a game and a half ahead of Dallas. Denver, who's a half game behind Dallas. And then the Lakers are 9 games behind 7th. And the Clippers are 3.5 games behind 7th. And the Lakers still have a game and a half over the Pelicans.
Not a good look. You see how the Wolves are on a 6-game winning streak? I don't see them losing today, and they're still trending up. The Clippers, maybe they catch up to the Clippers before the end of the season. But I don't know.
5.5 games.
Play-in, maybe, but
there's no way they're not playing in the play-in. Bro, they're 11 games behind the Nuggets. They're going to be in the play-in. It don't matter what, they're going to be in the play-in.
True.
The real question is, do they fall out? Because Trailblazers are 3 games behind, and the Pelicans are only a game half behind the Lakers. So,
I don't see Portland. Because you see that 6-0 streak. Because Dame is not there. But the Spurs, and maybe the Kings, if they get going. But why do we have 20 wins? I just saw that. Why are we winning?
Listen, it don't matter. Because at the end of the day, that is going to connect to what I'm talking about after this. If you actually want to get into that right now, that you said, why do we have 20 wins?
Let's get right into it.
The lottery odds do not matter.
Why don't they matter, Dan? I'm
going to show you. You see this jersey? Who is this, Ethan?
that the RJ jersey?
Yes, it is. Who's that?
Is that the John Moran jersey?
That's a shirt, but yeah.
For sure.
So maybe look like a Grizzlies fan out here because some people out here to claim how I'm a Grizzlies fan, whatever. Who got picked before who?
I want to say Ja was second pick, and then RJ was third.
Oh, okay. Wait. So let me show you that year's lottery odds. The Knicks had the number one lottery odds to win the first pick. I mean, granted, they're all tied now because they changed the lottery odds, but the Knicks lost the most games. Cleveland was second, Phoenix was third, Chicago was fourth, Atlanta was fifth. Which, I'm not gonna deep dive into this, but let's talk about how everybody had this weird narrative of, oh my God, the Knicks fell. We were in third. We were supposed to get 1 to 3. Everybody else fell out. But anyways. Atlanta, Washington, the Pelicans, Memphis, Dallas, Minnesota. Look where the Lakers were. They were in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11th.
11th.
Yeah, 11th. Do you want to know where they ended up, Ethan? Even though they were 11th that year?
I want to say a top 5 pick.
They were in freaking 4th place. 4th place.
To think that they had I don't know the odds, but probably like a 20% chance.
It was a 2%.
Wow, 2%.
Getting in first, and to get to 4th, it was a 2.8.
Wow. Yeah, they managed to get 4th.
And look where Memphis was. A 6% chance of getting 1, a 6.3% chance of getting 2, a 6.7% chance of getting 3.
And they got second.
It don't matter anymore. I think it's better for teams to just win.
Out of curiosity, I want to keep going down that back list. I don't remember Cleveland even. Oh, they got 5th out of the Suns. Damn, they didn't make both. They didn't get top 3 picks.
And they were supposed to.
That's actually crazy.
But the Knicks getting 3rd was the worst thing in the world. But whatever.
The Knicks, you gotta show them out.
But yeah, bro, like it's really crazy when you think about it, because the Knicks are in a weird situation right now where they're winning games again. Granted, it's with the young guys, this is why I told you it doesn't matter. You gotta win. You don't want everybody on your team to be losers. Because that's what was happening to Devin Booker. And Devin Booker was about to piece out of there if they didn't get Chris Paul.
Sure.
Same thing with SGA. You got to show SGA a reason to maybe stay. Because, I mean, granted, you guys got like 50 picks, so it really doesn't matter. But even then, like, to make him more appealing, you have to show that he could win and what he looks like in these wins. And that's my thing with the Knicks right now. It's like, yo, Grant, I don't even think we're going to use this pick this year. You remember what I told you. If it was up to me, I'm trading back, or I'm just trading that pick for another pick in the future, because we need to trade for somebody. It ain't going to happen with a draft, because unfortunately we had our chance of drafting Halliburton and we drafted Obi Toppin. Again, I don't hate Obi. You know how much I love Obi. You know the potential I see in Obi. But
yeah, he's not Hallie. He's not Hallie.
We needed a point guard, and they decided to go the Julius Randle route and keep Julius Randle.
We'll start making T-shirts and start printing it out. New York forever looking for a point guard.
Yeah, so, like, I want your take on it. Do you think the Knicks are in a good spot winning, or should they just be out here trying to lose?
At this point, they should just be winning. I mean, I know, look at the standings, it's not like you guys are in dead last.
Yeah.
You guys are still up there. You guys could potentially be in the play-in if you guys make a push.
And now that you mentioned the play-in, I'm gonna show you something funny about that whole idea. So the Lakers got 4th, right? And they had the 12th odds that year? Or 11th? 11th, my bad. 11th. If you take a look here, this was back in 2018, 2019. If there was a play-in tournament, the Lakers would have been in the play-in that year. It would have been in 10th place.
And they could have made the playoffs. That's actually crazy.
So, like, at the end of the day.
Even Grizzlies, if you want to push it back, they could have – oh, no, they would have been a little farther out. But they could have made the play-in if there was such a thing.
If there was such a thing, they'd make a push for the play-in.
Yep.
Probably. So, you know, it's just the way the Knicks are, bro. Like, at the end of the day, if we lose games, what is going to be the difference? Oh, yeah, we got a fifth pick. Oh, crap, we fell out. Now we're seventh. Oh, no, we stayed at 5. Like, the lottery never works for us. Just win your games, develop your talent, keep it pushing. If you could draft Jaden Ivey, I would do it. If you can't draft him, trade that pick for a future pick. Trade back and draft another point guard. Even though I don't think it's a good idea because Tibbs ain't playing a young kid.
Nope, he's not. I was forced to.
I mean, bro, we saw it with Cam Reddish, who unfortunately is now out for the season. And now there's still a bunch of question marks on what do you do with him next year.
That was brutal take.
Yeah, that shoulder, that was a wild injury. But what's your take, Ethan? What do you think? Do I have a point? Am I a little crazy for that?
No, you don't have a point. The fact that Lakers got 4 pick is kind of ridiculous, and even Memphis getting second. For them to get Ja, one of the most probably influential talent right now.
I heard a comparison I like. They say he's like the Patrick Mahomes of the NBA right now. Just this otherworldly talent that just no one could replicate.
It's true. I 100% agree. Like we talk about Zion so much before the draft that Ja didn't get enough love other than you. And
we talked about Zion. I ain't talking about Zion like that.
And this happened. He's now playing, I think, 63 games within the past 2 or 3 years. And Ja's second in the West.
Again, I'm not upset about having RJ Barrett because you remember I liked RJ Barrett in Duke that year. I'm just more upset because Ja would have solved our point guard problem that we've had for the last 20 years. Don't tank. Just don't tank. The funny part is, I think what frustrates me the most, and, sorry I'm venting here.
No, you're good.
How long have I been saying that we should be playing people like Cam Reddish, Quentin Grimes, Jericho Sims, and when do we start winning? When we start playing those kids.
Yep. Each and every one of them. RJ is scoring 30. We got Grimes?
Yeah, Quentin Grimes.
Quentin Grimes scoring as a point guard, shooting guard?
He's a shooting guard. He plays the 3 sometimes. I mean, he's just a 3-and-D player, which he's looked really good with 3-and-D.
And he's played well, but Tibbs looks at these players like, y'all not Taj Gibson. Y'all not veterans. Why am I putting you out there? Why am I – unless you're RJ getting 50 minutes a game, you should not be out there.
I mean, the narrative on Tibbs about playing young guys is weird because Mitchell Robinson is young, Quentin Grimes is young, RJ's young, Quickly's young. The only problem was that he only played those guys because of COVID and because of injuries. So
exactly. Yeah, because he had to. There was no way around it. Once D Rose comes back, he's getting 50 minutes a game too.
I mean, you might have to. We need to see what this team looks like with a point guard. I'm not watching Alec Burks out there play point guard for the next 18 games. There's no more Cam Reddish.
California.
We're gonna end it right there. Don't try to play me like that. We need to trade for that. That's another topic for another show when we get towards the end of the year. But Ethan, any closing remarks from you?
Oh, baseball's back. I'm excited to see what they do from here on out. I'm gonna try and watch as many games as possible. NFL might be crazier than last season. And basketball, we're about to reach our peak in a couple weeks.
Yeah, my closing remarks are gonna be fight for the play-in, but it better be the young kids doing it. Baseball's back. I'm waiting for the Yankees to sign somebody. I haven't gotten any updates, but we got a few more days.
Might have to get some talks in fantasy just to keep it interesting, just to keep it in the podcast interesting.
We could talk about it.
No, we gotta put entry in just to keep updated.
All right, I'm done with that. And then football. I mean, these trades have been wild. The draft is a month away, and let's see what happens with a few more trades. I know that ain't gonna be the last of it.
It'll be a fun time for sports in the next couple months.
Facts. Have a safe and great weekend. Everybody out there, have a safe and great weekend. I'll see you again on Monday.
Sure.
Knicks and Nets on Sunday. Let's see what happens.
Ooh. Battle of New York. Peace.
Peace.